got a lot of new people and a lot of stuff going on here. So really got to get everybody up to speed. And so really this is not about me just talking. I got to know who you are and what's going on so I can try and evaluate that kind of stuff, your understanding of what we're doing. Because we've got, the scenarios are just taking us on steroids. And that's just, we can get in on anything now. And so when you see stuff, especially for new people, anything that you were taught before, you got to get out of your head. And first of all, because when you see things only the way we do, it becomes very clear what's going on, right? And so what I talked about in the video tonight and I talked about during the day was just understanding the difference of what kind of setup is going on. So at the SPY yesterday, things got a little lethargic because we were going two, take out of the day up, shoot her down two, and we were two down, even though that we had time from continuity back up, we were still scenario two down unless we could go all the way to three, which we weren't, right? But today was different. The two up, two down, and then two up reversal back into direction. You can see what we got out of that, and that's why we had a lot of more power moves today. So another thing I was saying is, like I said, if you have questions, start typing them in. It's not just going to be a bunch talking here. One of the things, and Vlad, I hope you're here, he kept trying to pick out like stuff like this. It's very important that you pull up at least 4 time frames. Good, Vlad. It's very important to pull up 4 time frames because when you see ISRG as an inside day and you see Watt as an inside day doing nothing. Okay. Let's see. Let me make sure everybody's in here. Yeah, refresh and use Chrome there. And so it's very important that you understand that because we want to know that things are still inside. So even something like STMP, which retreated today, STMP, which, yes, we want to be involved in. And if you go to the monthly, it goes month and up, right? And it goes week and up here, and then it retreats all this stuff here, right? Why? Because we need to know that we're still a multi-month pattern. We're still not getting out of this. Now, anytime we have full time frame count, we can trade it to the upside. But because of that, anytime we go to a higher high like this, it can fail. Like so. It's not the end of the world, although this is a nice point move. And they could still take these guys out and then retry and go back up. But when you're still inside on a long-term time frame, it's still consolidating, which means it can get worse. Right? Before it gets better, it's going to get worse. It's scenario 1. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Okay. So that's why when I said Amazon, understanding what's in force. So Amazon, once again, just like the SPY, 2 up, 2 down, 2 back, 2 back into direction, and it's just like last January. Last month, no go. This month, inside scenario 1, scenario 2, inside and up, yeah, it's on. This thing went out on the highs, right? So it's very important that you always pull up those 4 major time frames. Psychology of trading, touching this. 2 up, 2 down in SPY and all that, yeah. Or anything. So 2 means we took out one side of the previous range, right? Here's this range. This is a 2 of that, took out one side of the range. This was a 2 of that. All right? And then broke out one side of the range to the downside, 2 down, right? Albeit green because it gapped down. It still only broke out one side. So 2, 2, 2. And then 2 back in the direction up. And the good part about that is any stops are going to be here and here, and you take them out, and it's with full time frame continuity to the upside. Make sense? Because the 2-2 is a reversal, like an AMBA this week, right? And that's why AMBA's been on the short side. 2 up, and then 2 down reversal. Bam. Take all these guys out. No, that is in the that is I touch on the macro video. This is brand new. I just discovered this stuff on Christmas Eve, so it's in the macro video from last weekend, and it's covered at the end of the greatest story ever sold. Greatest stories ever sold, because we can quantify everything. We can talk about it right now. Because scenario one is a consolidation. It has to be. Could not take out either side of the range. Right? Weekend videos are in the portal that says Quant Edge Weekends. Yep. And so, Jack, this is how we can quantify everything. Once you watch that video, there's only three things that can possibly happen. Right? You can't take out either side of the range. That's one. Right? You take out one side of the range, this thing, and then two. Or you take out both sides. Right? And that's three. And three cannot occur unless two happens first. Right? That's good information to have. Because if we take out one side of the range and start coming back through, right, we got the potential three. And when we do that on multiple time frames, we know what we're going after. The big triangles. Right? Because that tells you that broadening formations are the only true pattern. Unless you want to call a flag an inside bar or whatever crap people want to do. Right? But two is either trending by taking out one side or reversing by taking out the other side of it too. Right? That's how we can go reversal. They tried to take it up, now we're going to try and take it down. Got it? The psychology of trading, okay. Difficult when I miss the initial move. That's okay. It depends on how much, how much more information do we have that something's going to continue. Because if you're looking at the longer term stuff, that once a yearly and a quarterly or a monthly kick in, you got the whole year, got the whole quarter, got the whole month to go after it, right? And so you don't miss it because, like Weight Watchers goes inside week and up, but you didn't have to get it here. You didn't have to get that here. You got any continuation move going up. Like tomorrow, if we get inside day and up off of this stuff, inside day, still good. Know what I'm saying? Okay. Good, good. A broadening formation, that's the only true pattern, an outside bar, right? What it means is, there you go, monthly. Good old monthly IWM is always a good one. This is how things trade. So when people talk about head and shoulders and all that crap, they have no idea what they're talking about, right? Higher high, lower low. Higher high, lower low. Ready? Boom. Pattern's much bigger now. And here we go. Now it's trying to break out of that. Should we expect it? No, but we can look for it because one of the things about it, Jack, it's a Friday. And so they might take profits. It might go down. If it goes up, hopefully we get it and we'll trade it as long as it sticks around. And Houston on the options, yeah, all we're going to be doing is looking for the magnitude and the setups around strikes tomorrow, because it's a built-in stop, and the percentage gains can be huge because there's no premium in them. All right. Yeah, just like last week with the Boeing explosion. Boeing exploding. This was last Friday. Boom. All right. And so that was real nice. It's real nice. And it just kept going and going. You had full time frame counter to the upside. Okay. Look for setups around the strikes and looking for some big winners. Yeah, exactly. Especially if we've got some if we got the magnitude, depending on like today, like Marriott, if we go scenario 2 and potential 3, like we did, like here, and then Home Depot. So the low here was 51. Oh, I thought this gap down below it. My bad. Home Depot did though. So Home Depot goes down here, goes scenario 2 here, but then kicks back into potential 3 when it gets back into here, 191.65. Right now, if this is a Friday, the highs of this to go 3 or 193.21. You can look at 193s, 193.50s. Those things are going to blow up when we come through there, right? And they aren't going to do anything if they just sit there and do nothing. Me, I trade mostly VXX and stuff like that. So that's going to be. It's not up to. It's. That's why I get to know you. Do you like to swing stuff? As long as you're at a profit and we have reason to believe it's going to keep going, you can hold on to it. Yeah, but it's kind of Houston. The good thing is it's kind of a rigged lotto. We got a much better chance that it's going to happen because what we know is there's only 3 possible outcomes, right? It either re-breaks this because it can't go inside, and once it's in there, it's potential 3. This thing? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, good point. Right. And so the thing is, if you knew you were going to win the lotto 1 out of every 5 times, because all these setups are really designed to put you in a winning position, then you can do whatever you want with it, right? And so, Jack, what you'll see is everybody uses this differently because it's powerful. You can do it on anything, right? You can use macro charts for swing. You can do it anything. You can just sit there and bang it out. Everybody's different. But if you want to build like a portfolio, what you do is you just make sure that you're at a profit, and then we can add to it anytime we get more stuff, right? Because once you can see the larger triangles, be like, am I coming off the big old bottom hole to try? Yeah, get. As we saw a lot of that stuff. Burritos inside day, yeah. That's a lot of that macro stuff that we did last year, the Netflix, the Teslas, and all that kind of stuff. And now we're kicking into the oils. XLE goes inside year and up. Get. Get, Earls. Did we see that coming? We did. And so we didn't have to wait for the XLE to take it out. We had all these other things that are already in force, right? There we go, Gil. Welcome, welcome. Okay. CRM. The 3-1-2 potential. Yep. Exactly. It was in the video. All right. And so once you can see all this kind of stuff, is the bar green if it closes above the previous bar? No, the bar is green if it. This is the opening and the close. It's green if it closes higher than it opened. So it opened here, closed there. Open here, closed there. Open here, closed there. Are the triangles on that? No, you can do that. We would prefer to have some more volatility, but here. So yesterday, you ready? Here, VXX. We got a little paparoo, right? So here's one of the another good pots, right? Here's the previous range 1, right? When it comes back up through here and starts coming back through here, you can hit that, especially in VXX, right? And so just because this didn't go 3 and stayed 2, we can look for that 2-2 to continue because it's VXX. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Because we know she's a puker. Too much too fast? Yeah, that's going to happen. If I just focus on the inside day and up, I win most of the time. Kind of screwed you. Just stick with what works. Your chevron, my friend. Kabam. Thank you. Okay. Served up on your silver platter, man. Right in the video for you. And so for swing people, look at this. If you're already in from the inside month, here, 119.15, still going. You know, and then you go like, should we add to it? I think we shall. Inside day, bam, right? Okay, so VXX, what you could do is the goal here, and like I said, these are a little tight, right? And you can go into 60s and stuff like that. We want to remember what our objective is when something kicks in. Like today, like when I said coupe, and I told it where it was going. Here, when you start going outside on a bunch of stuff here, and these guys start rocketing through here, them out, and it comes up in here. Oh, we're definitely taking that out, right? 67. I said, give me 68. I got 69, right? They're definitely taking everybody out. It's like what I like to say is when they're going through the pivots, it's like when they raid the whorehouse, they even arrest the piano player. They're taking everybody, right? And so that wanting to know where your objective is. And so with VXX, even though here it didn't do it yesterday and go full blown 3. It didn't go full blown 3. We can expect it to mostly go 2 and take these guys out. And after that, we don't know. That once it takes out 25.73, then we don't know. They've taken care of business. There's nothing left to be long against, right? So like I said, this is a little tight. But if you go 60, then up in here, there you go. The 2 shooter puke, all right? That's below 26.29. So you could have gone after the 26 puts, something like that. I prefer call selling, but like I said, at this point it's a little tight. We haven't. I mean, the VIX has been at 10 forever, right? So we take the advantage of the best we can on that. If that makes sense. Yeah, we don't like the tight triangles. Yeah, we like them bigger. Oh, FSLR, you like that one? You like that one? Nice little vid you had last night, Rob. Bam. Bam. Outside week 3, too. Monthly triangle that we've been on forever. Ta-da. Here she comes. And that's nothing. Get, boy. Tree hunch. Give me tree hunch. So a lot of us who've been with me for a while have been on this since here. Just walking her up. Right? That's why you'll hear us laughing when we say, gee, I wonder where it's going. It's like, we know where it's going. We know where it's going, especially when we get this. Now that we got the scenarios to kick in, the multi-day inside pattern, all this stuff inside, and then finally goes inside again. And bam! Because here was the previous week. Triangle the out. Triangle the out. Oh, I'm sorry, you want to know about triangle the out? Yes. Boom, 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 boom. Inside, inside, inside. Boom. And the good thing about scenario 3, it tells you they already triangled them out. Right? They got both sides. And so what that means when I say triangle the out, that means you're looking to get involved. Because what that means is that stops have been taken out and we're ready to go back into the direction of what we know is true. Right? Otherwise trading would be very easy. They do it all the time. And that's what you want to know because if you're lucky, you get a really strong trend like the Amazon where it just goes inside and up and Chevron goes inside and up, all that kind of stuff. Right? But more often than not, there's going to be tight stops, and if they get too ugly, then they trigger everything else going down. Right? Because like something like Chevron, this had to go because it's momentum. You're going straight into the highs. Inside day, it's got to go, right? When you have something that corrects a bit and then goes back up, and by that I mean triangle the out when you have an inside bar or inside bar. So technically this is red, green. That's good, right? But if we go back to, let's see, where's a good triangle the out today? BIIV maybe, or BIVV, right? So gaps up. Stops them out and then runs. If we go to our 30, So here, this means triangle the out. So if this starts running up into here, right? And let's say that you go 30 upper, you're good. Lows of the 30, lows of the 30, inside 30, lows of the 30, lows of the 30. So the tight stop guys, they're gone. Right? Then the second level of guys off of this, gone. These guys come down into here, gone. Triangle them out, stop them out, the tight stops, hammer, and then off we go. 2-2 reversal and back up. Right? That shows us we've gotten some people out. Right? And so long as this occurs when you ain't challenging the month, that's going to stay green. You're not challenging the week, and you weren't challenging the day at that point. Right? That tells us profit taking. Right? There's not real sellers in there. So anytime this baby kicks back in on the 60, bam, I want in. Triangle them out on the 60, slight lower low, and bam. Right? Yes, and you could on the 60, you go right here off the hammer. That's 61.69. All right, there's another buck. And on the 30, right here off this hammer, 61.59, 61.60. Bam, you're in. Yeah, because it kicks it back into full time frame continuity. So it's important to also know where this is in the 60 because you do want that 60 to kick back in, right? Kick back in green because that's full time frame continuity to the upside. So for people who are new, what that means is every known participant's a buyer. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Everyone we know is a buyer. Yes, that's what's happening in Tesla. So Tesla does this. So Tesla, one issue is still inside of the month. It's an issue. It's not a big one, but we want to know about that, right? Hasn't been able to take that out, but you're bright green on the month. You're bright green on the week. You triangled the out because you have a 3. That's why the 3 is so good. You know they triangled them out. These guys got stopped out. These guys got stopped out. They got chopped up. Those guys are not going to touch this thing. Boom, 3 to the upside, right? Then we had the inside day up, right? And so this is just profit taking up in here. So now we have to see if they step up because you're coming into a Friday, right? You always want to know what time it is, what day it is, what's going on. So if somebody came in the morning and was cleaning up their weekly order, whatever they had, right? Boom, they take it up. 3, 2, up in the highs and be like, all right, I bought what I thought. I called my guy. I'm taking off the rest of, I filled the order and whatever. He's gone. So then we can back and fill in here. Now we got to see what's up, right? Now everything's 1, 2, 3 within full time frame continuity and combinations as possible. Yes, as well. The actionable signals, we prefer the actionable signals. Those are still real, right? We still prefer because like BIVV is 2-2 on the day. And hammer shooter, that's still something we want to know about. But now we know what condition everything's in, right? Because ideally what we want to know is where we're in the setups that things are really going to go. And that's like Vlad today said, should I just scalp something? Ideally what we want is something we can add to a ton of times, right? And because of all the things we know, right? Because of all the things we know, we're expecting this stuff to happen, right? As opposed to other guys who be like, the squiggly line's crossing squiggly line, maybe it'll work. No, every known participant's a buyer. Why would this thing not go up? They just stopped a bunch of people out. Those guys got to get back in, right? All this stuff we know for sure. Which is a good thing, right? There you go. And then you can really pour it on in momentum market like we got. There you go. Boom. Instead of waiting for the actionable signal, you can go add. You can even go every other one to make sure your average cost is still at a profit. Momentum hammer. Boom. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Get on the 2 train. Right? It's kind of like on Wheel of Fortune. You want to get on the Express? Yeah. Right? Tutopia. Right. Right? This is a little tricky because it was momentum going into highs. So ideally, if you're going to do that and just wail on all the 2s, You want to have some good triangle magnitude. I mean, this is it worked, but it's a little tough because we're going straight into the highs. When you can see something ripping through the triangle, like Coop, gee, I wonder where it's going. See how that would have worked. Okay, bam, 2, 2, 2. Then I'd had to go longer term time frame. It's 2, 2, 2, 2. Get, get. Yeah, Chevron's got a little bit more. Just got a few more guys to take out. Exactly. And for newer folks too, this is why we look to go back on the longer term charts. We know there's not a bunch of orders back there, but we know people are going to have some reference of where they're going to get out if they're on the wrong side. We can trade anything, Jack. It's just a matter of, what can we expect out of it, right? And like I said, you don't have to be the first guy in. If something goes in force on the year, the quarter, the month, you got all that time to go after it, right? And some people hold off for the rev strat, like TDG. Be like, I'm getting, like when there's really low volatility like we've had, sometimes you get screwed on the inside bars because they don't go very far. But this, the 1-2-2 rev strat, the inside bar countered with hammer, bam. I have people that will just sit back and just wait for that setup because that should go immediately, right? And that's in the course. That should go immediately. There should be nothing, because the reason it should go immediately is because you have an equilibrium. Couldn't take out either side. One side attempted to take the price direction and is failing, right? Boom, hit him in the face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stops, right through him. In TDG, as soon as it takes out the hammer, 276 at 01. All right, there's $11. Boom. So it's 277 here. Then it came around, closed at 276.02 was still good, and then here the follow through, and now inside day. See the add, boom, right there, 282. Come 287, and you have bought more. And Houston, another thing you can do when something like this kicks in, you don't always have to be directional. Like I said, that's why I like to get emails from people like, when this thing starts reversing back into here and setting up the rev strat, you can sell the puts. That thing ain't coming back. You can sell the puts. You don't always have to be directional. And you can do a put spread so you know what your risk is. TDG might not be the greatest example of that, but as far as options, but you get the idea. You don't always have to be directional. And another thing you can do is, like, let's say the Tesla or anything stays inside month, right? It's still an inside month. And so if you come in next week and it starts going inside and cratering back down into here, right? You can do the longer term strangle because that thing's going inside month. and it's all it's going to do is chop back and forth and chop people up, right? So when you can start to see those multiple bar patterns on the inside that are forming the longer term inside bars, you can do the longer term strangles on the outside. That thing ain't going nowhere. And every time it reverses, it just gets worse, right? Because that's how we define consolidating. It's going inside on a longer term time frame. Nobody's in control. Now, they might think they are. Like Tesla comes up here, but it couldn't take these guys out. Yeah, it does. Because they use up all their bullets trying to move it, and they can't. And it gets worse. They run out of bullets. And they get exhausted, and they say, and then eventually it just comes into inside and nothing. NVIDIA, everybody too busy buying Earl. too busy buying Earl. So NVIDIA, it did what it was supposed to do. Right? When I say that, here's what it did. Triangle day out. Right? You know why? Because nobody going to stay in on a third low or low. Tee-hee. Then triangle day out. They're gone. We triangled them out. Now you got to step up and buy it. Right? But this was the move that we were looking at yesterday. Right? But then it gaps up into here. It did its job. Triangle them all out. Now the buyer's got to step up. You stay inside. Here's what I'm talking about. Look at this. all of these bars inside of this 60. Strangle. But it's in video. Doing nothing. All right. Doing nothing, man. TC2000? Yeah. Yes, I do. Send me an email. There you go. Send me an email. Because I even have the scans for the scenarios now, too. I just haven't put them in because I'm spaz. So, and here's the thing with NVIDIA. You know, you do have this. You do have the monthly 2-2. The thing is, what's really important to understand is, yes, things can continue, but it met its objective. When you get the 2-2 like this, the objective is to take this and take them. And that's it. Once you do that, then it's momentum and it's got to keep going. It's still in force. It's still good. Right? But when you take this out, the target is to take these guys out. Take them out. I can stay short. It looks like it's time to roll over. Is it? Bam, bam. Everybody's gone. Right? So you took them all out. So anybody on the short side who made another boneheaded attempt got taken out right here. They're gone. Right? It's a matter of the buyer stepping up. We just had to punish ye short. All right. Well, I you're going to want to combine all this stuff, right? All the time frames, because that tells us what's going on, right? And like today, it's like then we can switch gears during the day. Like Comcast, that was great. Comcast, the 3-2 outside day, because that tells us the outside bar tells us they triangled them out. I can stay long Comcast. Stopped out, bam. Ready? Then it's the continuation here. Gave a nice 30, I believe, on the way up, even later in the day. Something, you know. Tunnel vision is bad. And just like in the greatest story video, I said, I can identify people who don't know what they're doing if they call it a chart pattern. I know because they're looking at only one time frame. We'll destroy that. Started staring at video? No, yeah, right. Oops. Everybody was staring at it doing nothing. Doing nothing. Meanwhile, Jazz Farm, Jazz Farm, knowing the actionable signals, inside month to the upside. Goes 3 week by taking out both sides. Off the 3 day. Inside bar gets into there and bam, right? That was perfect. 1 bar rev strat, month and upper, 3 weaker. And you can go after that as soon as it got back into here. That's 140.74. Even if you waited up into the highs of this, it's 143.70. There's 148.50. Tee-hee. Here, I'll post that vid real quick. Okay. The instant classic. But what the Walmart did on the longer got to share for you. There you go. So at the end of that, I go through all the scenarios. Right? There we go. And that's it, man. You got to stay where the good stuff is, right? And it's like you're still new here. I'm like, you'll see it over time. You see it. You did see it. You just changed gears. Because I was on the headset pretty much calling off a lot of tack. All right? Because you got XLK doing this. Here, look at this. So you want to use all the clues you got, right? So part of time frame continuity is like looking at average true range. How far is something going? This is Thursday, and XLK is doing that. Tech's doing nothing. Right, Tech's doing nothing on the week. See that? That's doing nothing. Give me an American Airlines. Oops. Give me an American Airlines. See that? And so for everybody, this is really important. I'm sorry, I'll get to light in a second. This is very important. When you get to 11 o'clock noon in the day, I want to take a look at stuff that's really moving. If something's still an inside day, I don't want to touch that. It's doing nothing, right? And so when you get into Wednesday, Thursday, I want to look at that weekly, all right? Is it moving or is it not, right? When you get into the second, third week of the month, it's still inside. There's your strangle. That thing's going nowhere, right? It's all a sequence of what we're looking at because we have actionable signals in force. We've got the scenarios in force. But if you're still scenario 1 on the week, on Thursday, I don't want to touch you. You can get killed. It's doing nothing. And that shows you that people are micromanaging in there. No, I think it looks pretty good on the old Fiverr. It's doing nothing, man. You get killed. Tight triangle stuff. And once again, the beautiful thing about American Airlines and all the airline stuff, we had so much time to go after these things. Right, Ice. There might be a move later on a 60 or a RevStrat something. Sometimes there's delayed, like in here. American Airlines. 2 hours completely in here. It says it's not doing anything. Right? Well, it held a gap up. Did do that. Right? And it's still condition 3 on the month. That's good. So for this month, it's moving. Right? Inside, yeah, in 50, yeah, I got scans for that. Just email me. And it gapped up into the highs. So, triangle support. And then here, they even tried to take it down. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. Inside, and it goes 1, 2, 2 reversal. RevStrat. This thing's not doing anything. Yeah, let's take profit. These guys got bored and took some profits. And then guys said, okay, we'll put a tight stop. We'll put a stop here. Stop them out. Ready? Go. Boom. All right. So once again, Houston, if this was on a Friday, this thing comes through 54.87 with 3 hours to go, 55ers. See ya. Bam. Come 57. Email Amber for toss, if you would. Yeah. Because Houston, the thing is, even if you're wrong, you're not going to lose very much. Right? Those things aren't going to move. Right? If it goes up a little bit and comes back in, but if they start exploding, oh yeah, scramble is on. The scramble is on. What it tells you is to evaluate it based on what we know, right? What do we know to be true? I expect you to know all this stuff, and so I know we got a lot of new people, but I train Navy SEALs and Army Rangers. They know what to do, right? As opposed to, oh, our chat room listening to my guru. Okay, we'll all have to listen to him. No, everybody's equal. You all know this stuff, right? And so CDK, do you have actionable signals? Do you have scenarios? Do you have time frame continuity? Amber has the codes for TOS. I've got the TC2000. Stop yourself out, Houston. Depends. It depends on how cheap of a lotto it is, but just stop yourself out. Yeah. The good thing is, with options, you're not going to get RevStrat, whipsawed, whatever you want to call it, on the common and get killed. Even if the common reverses on you, it's not going. The options won't go anywhere. That's the good part. Because then you can let the whole play out, the whole inside play out. So let's say that it goes up like this. Open on the low. That was perfect, right? But let's say it goes up and comes in a little bit, but doesn't take that out. You can still stay in there because it hasn't reversed on you. As opposed to if you had the common, you might poop in the pants. We call it the tickers and the moves right now. Yeah, Jack. So I expect you to know all this stuff. So when I say something like that, what would you say? CDK? CDK. You should have a window that has everything up: the monthly, weekly, 60, daily, 30, 15, 5, 3, 1, whatever, as much screen room as you have, because you can just look at it and be like, what are the scenarios? What are the actual signals? Time from continuity? What do I have? Right? And that's why the scenarios are good, is because that helps you identify the broadening formations without having to look for them. That's usually the hardest part for people. Is where's the triangle? Where's the triangle? 3, right? And does it have a chance to go 3? So CDK, if you pulled it up, it could have gone 15 upper right here. Bam. 73.57, 50 cents in the last 15 minutes. Something like that. And yet you'd be aware that you're coming into the close, and you'd be aware that we're probably not getting out of this range because we're back in the middle. So here's another thing that's really important too, especially Houston, if you're going to do any of the, the weeklies. Oh yeah, and on Wednesday, the SPY has Wednesdays too. That stuff. And so this is important. Like on a shorter term, you can take this on. If you see something like this on a longer term chart, that's where the mega strangle comes, right? Because they ain't never getting out of there. OSIS, look at this thing. OSIS ain't getting out of this thing anytime soon, right? So you can expect this thing to go back and forth while people get killed in here, right? Get murdered in here, right? Oh, inside and down, better keep going. Yeah, and especially you can use the scenarios, right? Right? So when you go here, inside weak to the downside, that's where you sell the calls. It goes down, but then goes scenario 2 back up, and then you sell the puts. It depends on what you're looking at, Doug. So this thing here. This thing still has to go inside month. All month on this thing. This thing's going nowhere. Right? And it happened in McKesson. It can happen. OYH has done it for 9 years. In McKesson, this thing took forever. Right? Look at this. When it closes back up in the range, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months before it got out of here. 8 months. And OIH has been inside for 9 years. So, Doug, it's a matter of what we're looking at, too. So, we'd have to evaluate exactly what kind of thing we're looking at, and are you coming into earnings or anything like that, too. Avoid the inside day. You got that, Ice. And come Tuesday or Wednesday, you want to know if that thing's still an inside week. Right? Come middle of the month. And the way you can identify that you're in trouble too, if you're not going to be an inside day, you're going to have full time frame continuity one way or the other. Right? If you're going to take it out. If you're in conflict at any time, you're screwed. Right? It's over. And that's where the flip comes in very important. When I talk about the bottom of the hour with the flip, that comes important. If that thing kicks back into conflict, you're screwed. This thing's doing nothing. Right? Because what you'll be looking at is the weak machines. All right, let's try and take it up for an hour. See if that works. G. Bottom of the hour. No, that didn't work. Turn it off. All right, turn on the other machine. G. Going back and forth. Yeah, when the price moves and the options go down. Right. That's what I'm talking about. We can identify that. Strangle. Right? Strangle. They know. Those guys know. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. I think it's going to move. Better move. Especially in those jacked up options when you see something. And that's what I used to say was to people, I'm like, the thing that you got killed in, why revenge trading is so bad, is like the thing that you just got murdered in is the least likely vehicle for you to get your money back. Right? Because you just get destroyed, and then something will do nothing. It's like, I'll just trade my way out of it, and then it does absolutely nothing, right? And then you just get chopped up after getting fully destroyed, right? Oh, it's volatile enough, I'll just trade my way out of it. Nope. Now it's going to build an inside bar and do nothing. That's why we always go where the action is. I say we don't trade stocks, we don't trade futures, we don't trade Forex, we trade setups. When the setup is there, and that goes back to psychology, I know what you're thinking when all this stuff happens, right? Like Amba, these guys are toast from last week. These guys are screwed. That scenario 2 kicked in a scenario 3 on the month. These guys were feeling damn good about themselves last week, weren't they? Oh yeah, Amba's going into recent highs. I think it's going to come back. It's a stock. Stock's going up. It's wrong. Bam. Right here. Punch in the face. And I can stay long against that. 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 Can ya? One quick shot out. Right? And so, for newer people and older alike, one of the things that the strategy does, is help us to trade against people in losing positions. All right? We know they're losing. They have to be. And at certain level, and what levels are going to be wrong. And because what we can do, even with these shorter term stuff, we're triggering guys to be on the wrong side. We're forcing people that need to buy or need to sell that are on the right side to be more aggressive, right? And using them to trigger more people to go into the wrong side. And what I mean by that is when we look at the multiple time frames, we can say for sure where people are in because of the price and time, right? And so when we come ripping back through places, see ya. Yeah. see ya. And that's why the triangles work. We know where it's going. It's going to max pain, taking them all out. And that's why when I say this stuff like that to you, when I explain this stuff to you, it's been you, right? All I'm really doing for a lot of people is reversing the old you, where you used to make a little, make a little, make a little. Well, I think I'm good at trading this stock, and then you give it all back and get crushed in one shot. All right, it doesn't go that far. I'm really good at this stock. It averages. It'll maybe move about $1 a day, and then bam! What happened? Especially because it's coming off the highs, right? And that's why I like CNBC being like, oh, the most important hour of the day. The most important hour of the day is the beginning, not the end. Right? The thing about the last hour of the day is important to your P&L, but as far as trading, it's irrelevant, right? Or where something closes where they think that has any relevance on where the direction is going, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's the worst. The 3-3, it happens in more volatile situations. The Disca, we just haven't had any of that in a while. In volatile situations, you'll see it. We just haven't had volatility in a while. And that's why Disca was a stone cold buy. There ain't nobody left in that thing. Right? Outside 3-3 day and up. Oh, hell yeah, that thing's going higher. Because I got 2 days of guys who ain't never going to touch this thing again. Right? For all you people, man, you know who we are. The do not trade list just got killed. Right? They ain't never touching this thing again. And that's exactly when we want in. This guy's got butchered in here. Oh, so butchered. And yet, so beautiful. Killed. It's going down. No, it's going up. Oh, no, because it's down. No. Oop, both sides. Oop. 3, 2. Oh, out. No, let's go back down. Oh, no. Okay, now we're smooth sailing. Oh, crap. Oh, bam. Inside. Oh, no, let's go back up. Oh, no. Oh, man, I'm never touching this thing again. Boom, hammer. It's like, man, I got chopped up in here. You think I'm going to, after this, I'm going to buy it? No way. 2. Reversal back up off the triangle support. Gone. Gone. Right? And so when you get to the psychology, that's when you understand all this stuff that we're looking at. I'm telling you the story of what's happening, right? As opposed to, I think it looks like a cup and handle. No, here's exactly what happened in there. These guys, this is where the guy threw in the towel, big time. I'm never touching this thing again. All right, hammer off bottom. Oh, the try, and this is the important part of understanding the scenarios. Because when this goes hammer, oh yeah, she goes back into the three with the potential 3-3, right? Which it did it, and when it did it, then it goes no heat, 2, 2, 2, 2, goes back to the top of the triangle, stop them all out, all the guys who could possibly be short this thing from the last 2 days of hell, and this is actually a 3, 2, bam, 2, triangle, get. All right. This is Disca right here. Larger time frame. Here's your bigger try. It's still inside month after the hammer down here trying to come back through these guys. Right now it's still inside month. Weekly goes 3 on that, right? Triangle they out. 2, 2, potential 3, bam, 3. Now coming up on these guys. In your daily, 3, 3, 3. Yeah. So in the 60, like I said, this goes 3. That's another triangle. It takes out and comes back into it. 3, 2, 2 reversal right here. 22.97. Boom. That's why understanding the scenario is going to be real important. We use them all, but the thing was, here, monthly, you'd still be inside, but you're going to have full time frame continuity upside, and you got reversals going on the shorter term. This weekly going 3 above 23.37, right? And you already took out one side. So when you start coming up here, let's go after the whorehouse. And the daily, we know what's going on, right? We're going to use these guys to take this. All right, so the triangle series has been walking down. Yeah, this is it. Bam. This thing here is 2409. We hit 2405er. See you in the morning. Right, and so you'll have all your research from scans, from the worksheet, from the weekend video, from the daily video, all that stuff, and then I can call audibles during the day and say, all right, we also got this because of gaps or what have you, because we're going to have earnings season coming, which is good, and it was good. And that's why for newer people, I get on earlier because we want to look for the gaps that have more pivots and stuff to go through. If we go blasting into highs or new lows, we don't know, But if we have stuff that's creating all this stuff that I'm showing you, is screws they? Is triangling back through something? That's something we want to know. Right, and get your alerts before they trigger, right? So you want them close, but you don't want it right on the break. Otherwise, it'll be too late. You want the old getting closer. So you can be the stick it to them person. But I want to make sure that to everybody that's new is up on the course and the scenarios, and to be able to see this. I don't set alerts, but other people will be setting them. Yeah. I usually come on 15 minutes before. I'm going to be coming on at least a half an hour before next week. Okay, finishing up week 1. All right, just get to know this stuff as fast as you can. And the good thing is that once you do that, the examples play out all the time. You're going to see it on everything, all right? First of all, just get through those videos. Just get through the basic concepts of time frame continuity, actionable signals, and then watch that watch the end of the greatest story ever sold, because the scenarios make this all real clean. And I've been had a lot of people with me for a long time. And at first they were like, "What's this new stuff?" And I'm like, "It's not new. It's just what we already knew on steroids." Right? Yeah. Because then what you're going to want to do is you're going to watch the nightly video after the close that I made the night before. What did I talk about and what happened and what could you have done? And you go back through everything and you can see it. Because the more you train your mind to see this stuff, the more it becomes second nature to just get in there. Opportunity, right? I'm like, that's like, I'm like, how did I prove that this is the universal truth? Because it's everything. Costco, sure. So Costco this afternoon took off, right? So here's how I want to train your mind. So, like I said, even Tesla, right? If you're still an inside month, you want to be aware of any time change of continuity. Any 60, any day, any week, you can go right back the other way. You're still inside. So it's an inside month for Costco, right? For the week, inside month, chopping them up, you bet it is. You bet it is. Goes inside, goes up, but doesn't take this out. So 2-week pattern inside of this week. Tries to rev strat down here, it gets puking, right? Just triangles they out. So these guys are gone. Now we can go back up. And you go to the daily. 3, 2, triangle they out. These guys are gone. Goodbye. Nice knowing you. Hammer, boom, and then right back through here. As soon as it broke 186.24, and we got an outside bar, that's fractal triangle. We're going through here. The goal is at least that, right? But the fortunate part is you got outside bar here too. So when it comes up into here, you triangle them out. Didn't have enough power to take them out, right? On the coming up here, right? So the question is, can we get out of that? Don't know. Then we'll go down to the 60. Triangle the out by a few pennies. And go shooter down. This is a 2 because it took it out slightly. Closes is an inside 60. Oh, sorry, lights. Yes, I'll get you. Sorry, light. So the potential is we can get this up sideways and use this stuff for measured move in the morning. Because you're also an outside 15er. So we'll see. But it's still inside month. But the week sets up the 2-2 reversal. 2 up, 2 down, 2 up next week. And light, I told you to remind me if I forgot. Thank you. So light, what light's doing, goes inside week and up. That's good. That's a good thing. However, not strong enough to take the month as yet, right? So here, this is a 3, outside monther, right? Fractal triangle, 3-2, down, triangle they out, they're gone. Not weak enough to take these guys, right? Which is also a 3, we want to get outside of that. So now you're setting up inside week, or inside month. If you go the inside week, you do take it out, right? So here's your 3, outside week, 2 reversal down, not weak enough to take that out. Now inside, and now 2 back up. So you'd want to ideally just keep going 2s up on this thing, right? That's what you'd be looking for. But you won't have actionable signal next week. You just have actionable scenario. Because today you got the hammer takes the week. Yeah. Thinking too much and hesitating. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. That's going to happen until you just train your mind, man. You're going to see it so much you can't not do it. That's the beautiful thing about it, right? Because the thing is, like many people tell you, don't be afraid to get stopped out. Don't worry about that. The ones that go really go, right? How can I best use the worksheet? I see the hammers and up and down and work my tail off and still get... The thing is, Scott, you should never get killed. That's the idea. Never. There's not getting killed because we're not adding to losers and we're not holding on to losers at all, right? And seeing the scenarios. And Omaha, always check with me, right? And for new people, never think that I'm too busy when I'm talking a mile a minute and I'm doing nothing. Never. Check with me. Yeah, 5 cents. Yeah, bail. Exactly. We expect this stuff to go right away. Why would it not? Everybody we know is a buyer, and they're about to flip other guys into losing positions. Why would this thing not go? I'm not going to wait around to find out. There's an unknown participant in there, and I don't want to find out how tough he is. Red Rover, we're all coming over. Ready, go. Right? Because also, another thing that people will have problems with is trading what we would call momentum versus reversal. And what that means is, what is going on here? So, like lights, just an example here. Weekly was red and then inside, right? So they tried to take it down 2, 1, 2, reverse, right? Because if you're always going into higher highs or always going to lower lows, you're potentially walking into potential threes, right? That's why we want all this stuff to be taken out, to have to be taken out. Like Stumpy. Stumpy. It was great, took him out. But once you got up into here, right, you're exhausting. You're going straight into the highs, which is good. You had this thing to get you to the highs, but then you want to stay up there, right? As opposed to coming off bottom to try slob style, right? Where am I in these things? What is going on? And slob came off bottom to try and rip and then measured move and still going, right? Did we know about that? We sure did. We sure did. Because I don't know what you do. That's a problem. I have to know what you do. Bitcoin. You know what I mean? I don't know what you're doing. I don't know which one you're picking and why you're picking them. To every new people, all this making sense? Everything matters, right? The scenarios, time frame continuity, where you are in these, where these threes and all this stuff is occurring. Former threes, right? I talk about execution, and like I said, when I talk to you personally, right? Basically, we want to power add as much as we can, and as long as you're at a profit, right? We want to hold as long as we have reason to believe it's going to continue to go, right? Then once there's exhaustion risk by going into higher highs, stuff like that, then you're going to defend it. So it all comes down to level of defense. You know what I'm saying? It's all a matter of level of defense and how much information we have on all this stuff. Because you'll see people that don't bat an eye on a month and upper when it starts triangling them out. Like, no, I don't care. This thing's inside month and up. I'm going to hold it like a PTCT. I don't care what it does. Right? So long as that thing's above here, all you pikers can chop each other up. I don't care. Right? Or year and up or whatever. Right? As long as that thing's above 1720, don't care. Right? You ain't chopping me up on the outsider yesterday. Right? Because I don't care. Right? Jimmy crack corn, and I don't care. Triangle they out, and then I'll take the 3-2 today to buy some more. Right? Right. So rev strat can be one bar, which is a 3, or the 1-2-2. Yeah, you can give it more room once you have profits on it. Yeah, as long as you're at a profit, man. I just don't want you to lose. I'm not afraid of giving money back, just not all of it, right? Because we want to be in something we expect to work because good things tend to happen, right? As Brian will tell you, small losers for big winners. Because of what we know, we're expecting these things to really rip. As you can see, they do, right? But if they don't, just get out. I don't care. What's a few cents here and there for the ones that just rip and never come back? And Joe, it's like you're new too. It's like it's just a matter of training your mind and seeing this over and over and over again. which you will when you look at stuff and be like, how many times have I seen this triangle just rip to the right to the top, and Rob drew it and says, gee, I wonder where it's going, and there it goes, right? You'll do that a million times and you'll be like, something, the hell with it. As long as you're playing with house money, man, it's like going to a casino. If I give you a bunch of money and go, here, just blow it, I don't care. You're gonna go nuts, right? Same deal. Once you have a winning position, we're playing with their money. Who cares, right? An LMT. Now, it's another thing if you're desperate to make money, that's a problem. So LMT, what do we know about LMT? LMT month. Momo Hammer monthly upper. All right. Which has also been doing on the month. There you go. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, hammer, 2. Weekly goes triangle day out, triangle day out, comes back in for the 3. So that was your 1 bar rev strat week last week. Inside bar, 1, 2 by a few pennies, and 3 get in there. Right? I wonder if there was a way to get in there. You bet there was. Inside day. Bam! Causes tee right there. That's 321.52. All right? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. Can you dig it? See, that's what you tell me when you say, does yesterday's candle mean anything? I was like, you start at the monthly. What do we know to be true? Because we're never going to have an opinion. I don't care what they do. I don't care who they are. What's the condition of the price? Is ye being accumulated or distributed? Are you consolidating? That's the great thing about the scenarios for newer people and everybody really, because it's brand new. We can define everything in 3 scenarios. Is it consolidating? That's 1. Is it trending or attempting to? That's 2. Is it reversing? That's 3. All right? And once again, a 2 after a 2 is either a continuation or a reversal. Has to be. Can't not be. It can't not be. All right? That's why 22222 could be a total chop shop building the triangle, or 22222 is heavy trender, right? But you always know what condition we're in, and that's why when we use the multiple time frames, we know what we're up against and all this stuff. And Bride, did you come back to your Seco? No stop out. Teehee. And there you have it. If you there is the set it and forget it, so you don't micromanage. Get yourself an inside fiver here at $12.95. Then go to work. Come back. How'd it work out for you? Not bad. Give this mofo 30% haircut off a 5-minute chart. And there was much rejoicing. All right? Because just like Joe, like you said, it's like have problems letting them go. Because there's another thing you can do. Once you set up something we know should go, you can go after something else. You don't have to manage everything. You can just try and set up as many winning positions as you can. Then when we get to 230 or 330, wherever you are, and I say it's position squaring time, all you got left is winners because your losers are gone. And you let the market do the heavy lifting. Be like, should I cover this? And Brian's like, no. It's nowhere near where I'm short. FSLR, should we get out? No. No. Bam. Right? And then you can make those decisions. And another thing that's great too, Houston and anybody else, another thing that's great about Friday is if you have these winners and you want to hold on to them, then we can create the synthetics when they go through strikes. Protect yourself, right? So if you got the common, or the option for that matter, you can use the common or the options against each other tomorrow to lock in profits. right? You don't have to get out. So if things really do keep cruising, you're still in, right? So let's just say, for instance, FSLR, right? Let's just say, for instance, this was a Friday, and it comes up and starts running, right? It starts running like this. Yeah, it starts running. Inside, shooter counters hammer, stop me out. Hammer counter shooter back in. Measured move of this, bam, just starts blasting up into 75. If this is more further in the afternoon, and I bought this thing, I'm down in here. Let's say I got the 70 or whatever down in here, and you're up to 75ers. You just buy the 75 put. Then I don't care, right? Lock it in with a 75 put. That's my profit. But if this thing keeps rocking, I'm still long. That's called a synthetic call, right? So lots to do on Fridays. Lots of opportunities. And if this thing did this, the hammer counter shooter right here at 73.90, hello 74 call, bam. Then it goes to 75. Depending on what I bought these for, what kind of change I bought these for, I can buy the 75 put and lock it back in. Then if it goes up or down, I can make money. I have no idea what they do. And if it has anything to do with lagging indicators or anything like that, it's wrong. Because what I'm telling you is if they're not looking on multiple time frames, every time frame, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, you can define consolidation by going inside. Period. You can define trending by taking out one side. Period. Right? You can define reversing by either the 2-1-2 going back down, the 2-2, or the 3. That's it. There's only 3 scenarios they can possibly do. So I have no idea what they do. Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah, right. I have no idea. Like I said, if they're using any moving averages or anything like that, throw it out. Anything that has a lagging indicator, throw it out. It's garbage. Lagging indicator is an oxymoron. And as I said in the as I've said in the many videos too, here, that first of all, lagging indicator can't possibly predict the future of price action. Can't, right? And when they say momentum, right, that's an analogy, right? Price doesn't have momentum. It's not an object. It's like when you say that sports teams have momentum. They don't actually have momentum. It's like they do. Right? You can't. It's not an object where you can go after the velocity, the mass and the velocity, right? That's physics, right? And the parabolic, Elliot, is just a way to gauge time, right? It just tells us time has passed, and then we can. It's a memory trick. Time has passed, right? So it tells us the time has passed to reevaluate what's going on as far as what we know about the scenarios and the universal truths. But so what I'm saying is if you use a lagging indicator to try and gauge momentum, what you're doing is you're using an oxymoron to try and prove an analogy. It's not possible. It's just not possible, right? We don't have to do that. We know what we're doing. We know the scenarios. We know there's only so many possibilities in what's going on. That's why we laugh at these charts. We know exactly what's going on. Stop them out here, go back there. Yeah, and that's why I'm not using it for entry or anything like that, but it's telling me passage of time, right? And another thing, Elliot, what it's actually doing, it's helping you identify what we already know. Right? It's just like there'll be people that use moving averages with the strat only because it helps them see things clearer, right? But, the better you're going to be better off when you can just see it only in these terms. Some people have trouble doing that after years of looking at squiggly lines and stuff like that. But when you can think of only these terms, that's why I say train your brain. That's like people I haven't traded before. I'm like, perfect. Train your brain to only see in these terms. It can't not be a 1, 2, or 3. It has to be, right? That's a good thing to know. The, it has to be in one of those scenarios. Can't possibly not be. And so when we go into the multiple time frames, we know exactly what's happening. No surprise there. And that's when people get chopped up and go, oh, it's in beast mode now. Yeah, didn't notice. Killed 1-2 tree. All right, stuff like that. Make sense? And so all I'm doing is serving them up to you because you can search all this stuff, and then what I'm doing is I'm looking for new things or things that are forming and kicking in. I'm also helping you determine whether there's something external that you might not know about, and say, okay, well, like I said, if you're trading TAC, and I'm like, no, look at XLK, this thing's doing nothing. Be careful in TAC. All right, right, right. So I'm helping you with that stuff, right? Because another thing that the scenario is going to help you on is one of the problems that people have when they first come to me. They're trying to jump on every inside bar. You can get killed doing that. You can get killed doing that, right? And most importantly, always having at least 4 time frames up of whatever you're looking at. Get that picture in your head. What's going on here? Because you're going to see dojis and you can see things that are doing nothing. And you can see the triangles that you build. And then you'll move on from it, and then it's time for it to go. Right? What I'm trying to show you is when it's go time, it's go time. Right. I think I forgot to go back to the tech sector tonight, but that's okay. We got earnings. We're going to have a whole lot of gappers and earnings and stuff like that. And especially if you're in trouble and you're not getting certain things, get in touch with me. Omaha, always talk to me. There you go. I quit. Because seeing it over and over again really helps. Just reinforce it. Because eventually you're going to see these 2s going into 3s. That's right, because I can call the audibles. I can tell you where it's going. That's what all these screens are about. I was like, yep. Is this still good, Rob? Mm-hmm. Show enough. Show is. And then when you hear me, that's why for newer people, when you get this stuff, and that's why it's important that we're here, is that when I say triangle, they at, that's something you want to know about. Right? That means they triangle the at. Especially if it's something I talked about in the video, in the weekend video, and something we've been watching. I'm like, they triangled they out. I'm like, now we can go back after them. Right? Yeah, you got to ask. I can't read everybody's mind, so that's the hard part. When I get emails, I'm like, I don't even know who you are. It's like, oh, I don't get it. I'm like, talk to me, and I'll stay here as long as on the Thursday nights, as long as it takes. So I prefer to do it at night because then I don't have to. It's recorded, and I don't have to send the same email a billion times to people. But it's really not that hard. It's a matter. It should only be a matter of organizing your work and your execution, right? Because the basics are basic, I think, and especially now that we have the scenarios, that cleans a lot of the triangle stuff up. Guys trying to draw triangles on everything and getting confused. Now you don't have to do that. 3's triangle has to be. That's good to know, right? 15, 30, 60. That's fine. Oh yeah. And make sure, and sometimes make sure one of them's a rev strat. Make sure somebody's getting screwed. Good, Jack. Good. You don't have to jam it all in one night, but it's like, well, Slim, what you'll see, there's different levels of volatility too. And the good thing is about training yourself on anything is that then eventually you'll see them on faster time frames and all that kind of stuff. Because it's the same on everything. That's the beauty of it. Yeah, brain can get to. You want to try and be me for a day when I try and track all this stuff for you? Yeah. Yeah, the shorter terms for the instant emergent when they triangle them out on day 5 are in. Because ideally we want those tight stops, right? When they triangle they out, um, that means you've got some levels of stops that are going to get taken out on that next signal. 5-minute shooter going to in the full time frame continuity where we got things that are in force. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we are coming up close to an hour and a half, and like I said, I like to answer everything I possibly can, but I also like to keep it to a reasonable level that people will want to watch it, and also uh, only so much that people can absorb it and let that sink in. So, but we got a lot of new people. I'm excited about that because we got to spread the word of the strat. This is the truth. This is how it works. Everything else is piles of crap. It's piles of crap, as you're going to see. And that's why you're going to watch CNBC. You're going to laugh hysterically at what people think and how wrong they are. When all you got to do is know 3 scenarios and 3 universal truths. Go with the flow. So on that note, welcome, new people, and Gil and everybody, welcome new people. And like I said, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make sure that you're successful doing this. All right, so get those videos, get up to speed. Make sure you watch The Greatest Story Ever Sold along with the course. And we will get to them tomorrow with Friday options and all that kind of fun. All right, everybody have a good night.